So theoretically we're up and running, but I can't tell if anyone has joined yet. I'm going to spend like the first 3 minutes talking about I found a Rosie. Okay. The first 3 minutes talking about just kind of some definitions. I'll mention them again as we go along, but just so A, I can wait for people to tune in, and B, you're not hearing them for the first time when I mention the definition in a move. So, first of all, talking about ballroom dancing versus social dancing. Ballroom dancing, and I mentioned this a little bit yesterday, ballroom dancing is when you see the very large dancing, especially in smooth dances and or traveling dances. So that means if I did 2 walking steps forward, I'm going to cover a solid like 5 feet where I'm traveling the entire ballroom. That's not safe or necessary when you're trying to practice ballroom in your living room. If you're practicing the moves and the technique, you can get almost the same concept doing 2 baby steps as you can doing 2 leaping across the river steps. We are going to talk about how to create larger steps along the way, but just knowing if you have a smaller space, you can still work on all of these technique pieces with a smaller box or a smaller this, smaller that, so on and so forth. Alright. So then, talking about frame and or posture. So when we are standing up straight in our daily lives, our shoulders are kind of lined up with our knees and everything, you know, relaxed but straight. Ballroom is different, to say the least. So when we're thinking about ballroom, the first thing is we want to think about taking our shoulders back and down. So A, this ends up sticking this part of your chest out or up. We want to think about the top of our chest almost heading towards like the corner, and then working on engaging the muscle between your shoulders and your back. So when we go, shoulders are back and down, even if the arms are up. And it's very, very easy to let this happen or this happen when we're trying to dance with a partner. So, my partner today is a book. Ideally, our partner in ballroom dancing is going to be slightly to our right side so that their right foot would align under your spine and your right foot would align under their spine. While we're holding our partner up, shoulders still back and down. You don't have to have a partner or even, I don't know, a book, a suitcase. You can practice your frame just by keeping your shoulders back and down and then moving while we do that. So, closed position, shoulders back down, partner to our right side. Later, we're going to address promenade. Promenade just means, in a nutshell, that my toes and my nose is going to face the direction I want to travel, while my chest stays at my partner or forward in this case. So closed position, I'm facing my partner, shoulders back and down, partners to my right side. Promenade, nose and toes go the direction I want to travel, but my chest and ideally most of my hips are going to stay towards my partner. See some comments so far? All right, everyone's alive. So then that's going to take us up to top line and head weight. So your top line is just the line of your shoulders. Ideally, when you're dancing ballroom position, you don't want a lot of funky stuff to happen unless it's intentional for the move. So when we dance today, if we start doing side steps, unless you've worked a lot on your swing, your sway, and all that good stuff that comes with waltz, focus on keeping your shoulders in a straight line with each other, no matter where we're moving. Closed walk. And then head weight. So ideally you want to imagine that there's like a string attached to the top of your neck or the bottom of your head that's pulling straight up to the sky. So you are stretching from your core, from your neck, everything's going up, 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 and then if you've practiced this a lot, it can even go just very, very slightly left, because if I say too much, there's going to be some odd things. You should not, so if I'm a lady, I've apparently forgotten how to ballroom dance, it's fine. When you look to the left, you should not have something like this in a ballroom frame. This does not look good. You can think about a top left corner, not all the way over here or all the way over there, just all the way stretched up, and then maybe eyes looking towards the top left corner and not any funky things like that. Poise. Poise just means where is my weight at in relation to my feet. So this is going to be very exaggerated, that way you can see it on video. A forward poise means my weight is towards my toes. You do not have to have this much going on. But then ideally it frees up your heels. And then, I'm going to hang on to this wall for a second. Super backwards poise would be almost like standing on your heels and leaning backwards. And then we also have neutral, where your weight is just in the middle of your feet. We'll address that more later. Footwork, when we're talking about smooth, we refer to heels and toes. Ideally, the heel of your foot is your bottom of your foot, toe is the front of your foot. If we say heel toe, that means your heel hits first, your toe hits second. If we say toe heel, that means your toe hits first, your heel hits second. And if we say toe only, that means the toe of my foot is the only thing that's going to hit the ground. So I'm standing up onto a very tippy toe and not letting that heel go down. And then 2 more. Same side leaning and opposite side leaning, or contra body movement position. That just means if my left foot goes forward and my left side goes forward, that same side, not this exaggerated. If my left foot goes forward and my right side goes forward, that's going to be our contra body movement and or movement position. Or we can just call that opposite sides for now. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So when we're going to go Waltz, Foxtrot, Tango. It's an odd order, but it's easiest to relate that way. In Waltz, we're going to learn a lot of new moves if you've never done this before, but they're going to help us later with our Foxtrot and our Tango. So a Waltz box is your left foot going forward, right, and then your right foot goes back. Your left foot goes side, and you close your feet. If you're a lady and you want to start back on your right foot, that's perfectly fine. Reminder, scrunchie is left hand, left foot. So Waltz box, we would dance left foot forward, right foot side, close the feet, right foot back, left foot side, close the feet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then once you're comfortable with that, thinking about our frame again, so our shoulders are back and down, and our head is stretched all the way up towards the ceiling, and we're dancing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to build onto that a couple times, but as we go, if you hit a max point of information, just stick with what you've gotten so far and work on that. We are going to introduce rise and fall in pieces. In a nutshell, rise and fall is what it sounds like. Rise means up, fall means down, ideally gracefully, but we'll see what happens. We're not going to talk about feet to start. If you know your footwork, go for it, but one piece at a time. When we're dancing a waltz box, ideally the natural action of the step will create our rise and fall. So when I take a step forward, my legs are spread, so that creates me to lower. Or creates me to lower? Yeah, sure. Creates a lowering in the body. When I take a side step, my legs are still open or spread, so then that also creates, I can't be super tall. But when I close my feet, that creates my tallest point. It's our ballroom physics of the sort. So when I'm stepping with my legs open, I'm not as tall. Open, not as tall. Close my feet, I'm at my tallest point. So we're going to think down, begin to stand up, tallest point. Down, begin to stand up, tallest point. Down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. So, I'm going to go about this in an odd order, but that's fine. When we're talking about forward, back, and side steps, we want to test the water with our foot before we step. So what that means is if I'm taking a forward step, I don't want to just jump in all at once, because so many things about that are not good. I want to think about testing the water and then taking that step. Trying to figure out, don't worry about the foot right now, I just want to be at a better angle. when I'm getting ready to take a forward step, I want to send my knee forward to create a lowering action. I do not want to jump forward or shoot my butt and hip areas forward. Ideally, my butt and hips is going to stay relatively over my feet, and that's created by sending my knees forward. And if I'm going to take a forward step, I don't want to have forward poise. So I don't want to be standing on my toes and then try to step forward. That was a really awkward action. So I lower by sending my knees forward. My weight is predominantly towards the back side of my feet, and then I can stick out my foot. And that's going to help me be able to take a longer step if or when I can. Same concept's going to go for backwards. I don't just want to fall backwards when I take a step, because you're not going to be able to get a larger step. I'm going to lower by sending the knees forward, and then I don't care what foot right now, you can practice on both. I'm going to test the water, and then I'm going to step. And if you're in a much smaller space and you can't even do a box, just practice forward and back steps for a while. So I would, if I'm doing a forward step, shoot the knees forward, backwards poise, then I can step. If I'm doing a backward step, shoot the knees forward, forward poise, and then I can step. Same concept is going to happen on the side steps. Now, with this being said, don't do anything super funky, but if I'm going to step to my right, I'm going to bend my left leg. So I'm going to bend my left leg by extending my left knee forward. I'm going to test the water, and then I'm going to step. Same concept, if I'm stepping to my left, my weight is on my right foot, I can send my right knee forward, test the water with my left foot, and then I can step. So when I dance a box, starting left foot forward in very slow motion, I lower, let my knees go forward, release my left foot, send it forward while keeping my weight backwards until I'm ready to step. Then I'm going to collect my weight under me. My left leg is still bent. I'm going to reach my right leg to the side, testing the water, keeping my weight over my left foot until I'm ready to step. Then I can stand up, close my feet, send my legs forward, release my right foot. So now my right foot is reaching backwards. I can step, collect under me, keeping my weight over my right foot. Send my left foot out to test the water. Then I can step, collect my feet, stand up. So this is all of our rise and fall without specific footwork. So if we're doing this in a medium motion, I'm going to go sideways for this one. I'm going to start left foot forward. We would have ready and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we haven't talked about footwork yet. If you know your footwork, go ahead and add it in. If this is brand new, don't worry about it. Let's see, is anybody? Hi, Vonda. All right. So, in a left box, that means our left foot is forward because A, we took a step forward on our left foot, or B, we took a step back on our right foot, putting our left foot forward. This is the action that allows us to rotate to the left. When we rotate, again, it is the shoulder you are turning towards, not the shoulder you're bringing forward. So if I want to turn left, I put my left arm out, I look at it, and I go that way. So when I'm dancing a left box, adding in as much technique as you can. So we're thinking shoulders back and down, head up, testing the water before we step. I'd have down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. If there is a left box, chances are there is a right box. The left box happens because the left foot is forward, so the right box is going to happen because the right foot is forward. So, if you are a lead and you want to transition on step 1, Then you can start by taking your left foot backwards. So we're going to step back on the left foot. Ladies, you can also start here. It's going to get the same technique pieces across. You would just start forward on your right foot if you want to do your traditional part starting on one. So we would step back on the left foot as a lead. Side to my right, close my feet. Then my right foot's going to go forward. Forward on my right, side, close my feet. Back on my left, walk, side, close my feet. Forward on my right, walk, side, close my feet. So then the action of my right foot being in front is what's going to allow me to rotate to the right. So if I start by imagining anybody who doesn't know me just watching me run around chasing my arm in a circle, but it's fine. So as I step back on my left foot, I can step and then I can turn a little bit to my right, side, close, and then my right foot goes forward. I can step and then turn a little bit to my right, side, close. Left foot back, right foot forward, side, close. And then I want to implement all the same technique pieces I've added so far. So that means when I'm going back on my left, I'm going to send my knees forward, reach with my left foot, and then move. Send my knees forward, reach with my right foot, then move, close the feet, send my right foot forward, my right foot, yeah, okay. Collect, my right knee is bent, I'm sending my left leg sideways, then I'm moving, closing the feet. So far we have a left box and a right box. Then we can also work on forward change steps and back change steps. That just means I'm pretty much changing from a left box to a right box on repeat. So if I'm doing a change step, as a lead, I'm going to start forward on my left. If you're working with the ladies part, you can start back on your right, but we're also going to flip-flop this in 2 seconds, so either part's going to be helpful. So I would go forward on my left foot, side close, but then I'm going to change to the top half of a right box. So my right foot is free, but instead of going backwards, I'm going to go forward on my right foot. Side, close. And then in waltz, for now, every time we step, we have to change weight. So left, right, so on and so forth. So I just done side, close, and my left foot is free. At this point, I have 2 options. I could continue going forward on my left foot, but A, you guys can't see me, B, I don't know how large your living rooms are. So instead, I'm going to switch to go backwards on my left foot. Back, side, close, and then backwards on my right foot. Back, side, close. I am allowed to change from a left box, right box, and change step on any beat 1 and or 1 and 4. So if I start forward on my left foot, walk, side, close, and my right foot is free, I then have the option. Do I want to step backwards and continue my left box, walk, side, close, or do I want to step forward and create a right box action or a change step? And then same concept, my left foot is free again. So I can either A, go forward on my left foot, and then I can create a change step or a left box, and or I can go backwards on my left foot and create a right box or a backwards change step action. So when we are practicing ballroom in the living room, your left box, your right box, your forward change step, and your back change step is 80% of what you need. So if I'm dancing, don't worry about following along right now. I want to do some change steps, and then I get in trouble, so I'm going to go backwards. I run out of space. Maybe I'll do a couple boxes. I have a new space. Walk, side, close, walk, side, close. So you can practice dancing around a super small space, but with your left box, right box change step. So then we're going to be talking about the footwork of a waltz box and going further into the rise and fall action. So we had already discussed that waltz down, start to go up, finish at my tallest point, down, start to go up, finish at my tallest point. When I step on my first step, I'm going to let my heel be the first thing that lands. This is very exaggerated. Do not pull your toe up this much. This is just for video purposes. So I'm going to take that step, and then I'm going to roll on or towards my toes. So now I have a flat foot, and then I'm going to send my right foot to the side. Don't move. But my right foot, the toe, is the only thing allowed to touch. So I'm going to stand all the way up onto my right toe. As I go, I'm going to drag my left foot in, and my left foot is going to be only on its toe for a moment. And then my left heel is going to land. So during steps 2 and 3, my right heel does not come down. So when I'm dancing, we're going to call it heel toe, 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 heel. So my left foot goes forward, heel, roll onto my toe. Right foot is toe only, so my right heel does not touch the ground. I drag my feet in, I'm on both toes for a moment, and then I let my left heel touch the ground. We're going to do that one more time. So left foot forward, heel only at first. Roll onto the toe. Right foot side, toe only, my right heel does not touch. Drag my feet together, lower with my left heel only. So my right heel has not touched the ground. I'm going to reach back with my right foot, my toe touching the ground. And then as I move, my right heel is allowed to touch the ground. Ideally, as I travel backwards, I am picking my left toe up off the ground. I'm going to switch it to toe only as I go sideways. So now my left heel is not allowed to touch the ground. So I'm going to stand up onto my tippiest toes. And then after my feet come together, my right heel can touch the ground. So the foot that is about to move on steps 3 and 6 is the foot that the heel is not allowed to touch the ground. So when I dance, I'll go sideways this time. If I start with my left foot forward, heel, toe, toe only. Stand all the way up onto both tippy toes, lower onto the left heel, and start reaching that right foot back to test the water. I'm going to roll onto my right heel as my left toe picks up. As I move my foot under me, I'm going to switch my left foot to toe only. Send it sideways. Left foot is toe only. Stand up onto my tippiest tippy toes, and then let my right heel come down so that left foot can begin to move onto that heel toe portion. So that's a lot of information if you've never talked about footwork before. So if any of it blew past you, don't worry about it. But essentially, if you are doing a forward half of a box or forward change step, we are doing heel, toe, toe only, toe, heel. If you're going backwards, toe, heel, toe only, leg, toe, heel. It doesn't matter if it's a left box or a right box. If I'm going backwards, my toe is the first thing to hit. And then as I roll backwards, my front toe comes off the ground. If I'm taking a side step, doesn't matter which way, my toe of that reaching foot is the only thing allowed to touch. And then I can lower onto the foot I just brought in. So if I'm doing, let's do left box, right box, forward change, backwards change. So don't go yet, but in fast motion. Left box, right box, forward change, backwards change. If you've been doing this for a while, footwork, knees going forward, shoulders backing down, head up, maybe even a little bit left, and if you want, you can hold up your frame. So, we're going to start left foot forward for a left box turn. We have ready, set, and down, up, land, down, up, land. Left foot goes backwards, down, up, land. Right foot goes forward, down, up, land. Forward change step, left foot forward, down, up, land. Right foot forward, down, up, land. Left foot back, down, up, land, right foot back, down, up, land. So at this point, we've talked about waltz footwork, waltz, rise and fall. Poise, if you're taking a backward step, send your poise forward. If you're taking a forward step, send your poise backwards. And when you're taking a forward or back step, keep your butt over the standing foot until you're ready to step. We never want to see this action. And then, what's our timing right now? Oh, wait. So with waltz and foxtrot, ideally we almost never want either of our feet to leave the ground. So in a very, very exaggerated sense of a left box, what can happen sometimes is if you're normally walking down the street, you pick your foot up to move to the next step. So very, very exaggerated. I don't usually see it this bad. But then what can happen is we're doing a left box, pick up the foot, put it down, pick up the foot, put it down, pick up the foot, put it down, and that's going to cause a very choppy action. If it's less extreme, it's going to be a less extreme choppy action, but it's still going to be a choppy action. So when I go, instead of pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, I want to think about almost gliding my heel along the ground. Especially the ladies, because of the lady shoes for ballroom, if your foot is too far flexed, you are going to get onto the back side of your heel, like the part that you're not supposed to stand on, and that's one of the reasons that you can fall forward. It can also happen if your weight's going forward too soon and your heel's too far up, can be another reason that you slide forward. So when we step forward, we want a soft heel lead. So instead of this action, a much more relaxed. So my heel's still the first thing that's going to be hitting, but barely. I don't know if that's a safe word to say. Definitely forgot where I was going with that. Brushing, rise and fall. Oh, gliding the feet, yep. So as I take my first step, I'm going to glide my heel along the ground. And then even as I take this second step, I'm going to keep my toe in contact with the ground the entire time as I switch to that side step. And then as I close my feet, my left foot, or whatever foot you're dragging in, is still going to stay connected to the ground the entire time. Same thing going backwards. I'm going to reach back with my toe. My toe is still connected to the ground. This backward step, step 2, gets a little bit tricky because I have to release my toe of my front foot. But as I bring my foot under me, I'm going to switch to a flat foot and then to the toe of my foot. And then I'm going to send that toe sideways. So there was never a point where that toe or that foot was not in connection with the ground. And then close my feet. So then we're going to talk a very little bit about twinkles. A twinkle is, we're going to start off almost like the forward half of a left box, or if you want to do ladies part, the back half of a left box. Normally I would do walk, side, close, and I would stay in closed position. My first step is I'm going to do walk, side, and we're going to do that promenade position from earlier where my nose and toes are going to face the direction I want to go as I'm closing my feet. So for the leads, you're going to be looking towards your left shoulder is your nose and toes portion. For the ladies, if you're doing ladies part, you're going to be looking towards your right shoulder as you turn to promenade. So for right now, we're going to do walk, take a sideways step, but then as I'm switching, my nose and toes are going to point towards said wall so that I'm in promenade. And then for now, you can step through with leads right foot, ladies left foot, and do walk side back to normal. I'm not super concerned about that part. The twinkling action, where we had just talked about the feet always having to be connected to the floor. We are going to upgrade our twinkle a little bit, closer to a bronze 3 level twinkle. So instead of walk, side, close my feet, I'm going to do walk, side, start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. So that again, I would do walk, side, start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. One more time for the leads part. We have walk, side, start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. And then if you get good at that, you can practice on the other side. Walk, side, start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. And then you can practice that 87 times down or as much space as you have. Same exact concept for the ladies. So when we do back, side, we're going to do start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. And then my next foot would go through. Walk, side, start to close my feet, just kidding, land slightly open. This is getting into a harder level move, so if you're newer to this and I've lost you, that's fine. You can practice what we've learned or just keep working through and see what happens. So when I am dancing a twinkle, I should always have both feet on the ground. What happens? A lot. Very exaggerated. Walk, side, land, walk, side, land. It is not that bad, but that way you can see it for a visual. Okay. So, when I go, I'm going to follow my same forward step footwork for the leads, back step footwork for the follows. So it's going to be heel, toe, 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 heel. So I would step, heel, toe. I'm going to bring my right toe under me, still touching the ground. Side step, stay right toe only, heel does not come down. Come up onto both toes. I'm going to reach my tippy-toppy point, and then I'm going to take a small side step. But this is step 3, so I have not lowered yet. Then as I lower onto my left foot for the lead, I'm going to bring my right foot. I'm going to start collecting it as I'm lowering. So what that means, if you've been doing this for a while, is it's very, very easy to step and drop that action immediately, but I want you to work on holding the rise for it. So when we're thinking down, start to rise, stay up just a little longer so we can get that full rise on 3, and then lower and step through, and then we're back to heel, and you can either do side close if you want to be done, or heel, toe only, my foot never left contact with the ground. Stand up on my tippiest tippy toes, both feet are on the ground, but I am mostly on my left foot. Take a small step out, I'm still tippy tall, and then I can lower as I take that next step. For ladies, it's the same exact concept. The only difference is the very first step has different footwork, because we're starting backwards on our right foot. We're doing toe, heel, toe only, my foot never left the ground. Stand up onto my tippy toes, weight is on my left foot, but my right foot is still connected. Take a small step out, and then instead of just dropping automatically, lower softly as we bring that next foot through. And then same concept, heel, toe. Step side or side and slightly forward, whatever you want to call it. Get onto your toe only of your right foot. Drag your left foot in, your left foot is still touching the ground. Take a small side step out. You're still at your tippy tallest point. And then as you take that next step, you can lower into that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. So switching to Foxtrot in the living room. Hopefully you all just learned a lot of waltz. So, Foxtrot basic, I'm going to have to start with leads part and followers part because it's not the same exact basic. In a very blunt nutshell, lead, you go forward on your left foot, you go forward on your right foot, you take a small side step to your left side, you close your feet completely, and you restart with your left foot free. So one more time for the leads, we have left foot forward, right foot forward, side, close. Ladies, natural opposite, right foot goes back, left foot back, side, close. One more time, right foot back, left foot back, side, close. So, when we dance Foxtrot, it follows a handful of the same rules, being that we want to Keep both feet in contact with the ground and roll through the feet when we want to continue moving. So if I'm walking down the hall, down the street, whatever, you're going to feel your weight go from your heel all the way through your toes before you take off onto that next step. So on my first foxtrot step, I'm going to step with my heel, roll all the way through my foot to the tip of my toes. My right heel is going to go forward, but then I want to stop. So I'm only going to let my weight go through like the knuckles, the base knuckles of my toes. There's a better word for that, but you don't get it right now. And then I'm going to take a side step. One more time for the leads, and then we'll go for the ladies. So as I lead, I want to take my left foot forward, roll all the way through to my tippy toes, take my right foot forward, stop at my base knuckles of the toes, and then take my side step. Ladies, it's going to be the same concept for the bulk of you that walk backwards in your daily life. When I reach back on my right foot, I'm going to roll all the way through the very back of my heel, and I'm going to send my other right foot, my left foot takes the second step back, and I'm going to kind of stop my weight in the middle of my foot versus continuing to roll and sending my weight backwards. So I'm going to take my right foot back, roll through the edge of my heel, send my left foot back, stop my weight in the middle of my foot, and side close. When we're dancing foxtrot, I had some work. Foxtrot rise is not the same as waltz rise, but it still does have, not necessarily rise and fall, but a similar concept. I want to think, I'm kind of down, I'm kind of down, I'm going over a very tiny bridge. When I go over this bridge, I don't want to lock my legs completely because locking your legs never turns out good. So I'm doing it over the bridge. My knees are kind of relaxed. I'm going to stand up a little straighter, and I'm going to relax my knees as I come down and close my feet. And over the bridge, over the bridge, over, and we can go the other way. And over the bridge, and over the bridge, and over the bridge, and over the bridge. If that concept's brand new to you, don't worry about the next part, but then going into our footwork. So, a forward step in smooth is a forward step in smooth. So in foxtrot, forward steps get heel, toe, heel, toe. We're going to, as we take a step, stand up a little taller onto both toes, and then we're going to close our feet. Now, on the closing the feet, you might hear a couple different opinions, but for the sake of relating it back to waltz, when we take the side step, whichever foot we just stepped with, we're not going to let the heel come down. So for leads, your left toe only is what's allowed to hit the ground so that it's ready to move with you. Very similar concept for the followers. So we're doing toe, heel, release the front toe, reach back with it, toe, heel. I'm going to rise up onto both of my toes, and then I'm going to close my feet, leaving my right heel up. In foxtrot, I am not trying to hit my tippy top max point. That is a quality of waltz. None of the other smooth dances, they don't deserve it. So when we're going, instead of trying to reach the top of my escalator and being like super odd and bouncy, we're just thinking a very small twig, 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 very small twig. I'm going to hit a couple qualities that should happen in waltz also, but I felt like waltz had enough time for itself. So we had talked about lowering in our waltz, which should also happen before we take a step in our foxtrot. But we didn't talk about same side and opposite side leading. If I'm doing a smooth dance, as I'm getting ready to let my left foot go forward, my right shoulder should come just very slightly forward. Anything that's all the way up here, you're doing way too much. Tango might be a different story, but we're not there yet. So when I go, trying to think about how to, a very, very max of the center of your chest, going from wall to corner, to the first corner to your left as a lead, is the max that you should rotate when your right side comes forward. So as a lead, very, very small amount, a max to the corner, if not somewhere in between that. Same concept for a lady. As your right foot goes back, that puts your left foot forward. So then you want to think about bringing your right shoulder very, very slightly forward. Similar concept, a hard max of your chest going towards the first left corner, if not somewhere in between that. With that being said, the lead is in charge of making this happen. So if he doesn't do any shaping, for lack of better terms right now, then you can't do any. And if he does a lot, I mean, you can try your best not to do a lot, but then you're not going to match him, so it gets a little bit tricky. The other component that should happen in both Foxtrot, Waltz, probably Tango, brushing of the feet and or the knees. So if you have larger knees or larger thighs and so on and so forth, it might be hard to get your feet to touch as they come under you, and it might put you at a weird position. So as long as at least your knees brush by each other as you step, it still counts as brushing even if your feet do not completely touch. Between every step, we should be brushing. So when I go, step, brush, step, brush, over the bridge. And then we're gonna get a very, very little bit into junior walk, but we're not gonna dance it full because space-wise and be a little interesting to try to explain with the video and stuff. So, when I'm doing a junior walk action, that just means a forward basic and a backwards basic with specific rotation that we don't care about at this moment. So as a lead, I can take my left foot forward, right foot forward, side, close. My left foot is still going to make the first step. My computer's doing something funky. A new version of Java is available. Okay. So, anyway, as a lead, forward basic, walk, walk, side, close. My left foot's free. I'm not going to switch which foot is free because that would get all sorts of funky. My left foot goes back. My right foot goes back. Side, close. So I'm going to do a forward basic. Slow, slow. Over the bridge, left foot goes back. Slow, slow. Over the bridge. Very similar concept for ladies. I'm going to do a regular basic. Slow, slow. Over the bridge, my right foot's free. I'm not going to change which foot is free. I'm just going to change my direction. Slow, slow, over the bridge. Getting into a little bit more of a technical piece. If this is your first time hearing about left boxes, right boxes, this might get confusing. If you've been dancing this for a while, this can actually be a very good interrelated piece. When I am doing the steps 2, 3, and 4 of a Foxtrot basic, I am actually just doing the top half of a right box. So as a lead, after my first step, I'm doing right foot forward, side, close. The top half of a right box, right foot forward, side, close. It's a different timing, but it's still the same concept. So when I dance Foxtrot, one step, top half of a right box. That means that during the second, third, and fourth step, I'm allowed to rotate to my right as a lead. I don't care about how much right now, but I could take one step, and then I could turn towards my right shoulder as I'm doing my walk, side, close. Similar concept for the ladies. When I'm taking steps 2, 3, 4, I'm doing the bottom half, the back half of a right box, back, side, close. So that means during steps 2, 3, 4, assuming the lead leads it, I can rotate to my right shoulder, side, close. And then it's vice versa for the second half of our junior walk. So as a lead, I did walk, walk, side, close. Now I'm doing back. I'm doing right foot back, side, close. That is the back half of my left box. So back, side, close, back half of the left box. That means when I dance the second half of my junior walk, I can do first step back, and then I can do a left box. Back, side, close. Very, very similar concept for ladies. So walk, walk, side, close. On my second step, I can do a left box. Walk, side, close. You almost, if you don't brush your feet, it's going to turn out messy, it's going to look messy. You might still be able to dance it, but there's nothing good about it. So, As a lead with my rotational pieces, if I did one step, brush my feet, step, rotate, brush my feet, side, close. And then I can send my left foot backwards, walk, brush my feet, then I'm doing a left box, walk, rotate, brush my feet, side, close. So one more time, I'm going to go super, super tiny steps, so you might be able to see me the entire time. As a lead, I can do walk, brush, rotate to my right, walk, side, close. Left foot goes back, walk, brush, rotate to my right, my other right, my left, walk, side, close. Very, very similar concept for the ladies. I'm starting back on my right, and then I'm doing a right box. So I'm going to turn towards my right shoulder, back, side, close. Then I'm going forward on my right. Then I'm creating a left box. So I'm doing forward, side, close. So if you've been doing ballroom for a while, ideally junior walk starts diagonal wall on a good day. I haven't. Yeah, diagonal wall on a good day. Wow, I need to start dancing again, you guys. This isn't working. So junior walk, diagonal wall on a good day. For leads that have not danced, that means northeast is where you are starting from, or slightly to the right. And that way, in a perfect world, you can continue traveling down where you need to go. The last move we're going to look at in Foxtrot is going to be a swing step. There are left boxes and there are right boxes, there are left boxes, right boxes. Magic left turn and magic right turn are both really good, but swing step takes care of both of those issues in one. So a swing step, as a lead, I'm going to take a side step with my left. I'm going to brush my feet, but I'm not changing weight. And then I'm going to take a side step with my right, brush my feet, and do that over the bridge action, over the bridge. So as a lead again, facing backwards, I'm going to do slowly, slowly, over the bridge. One more time for leads. Dancing slowly, slowly, over the bridge. And then my left foot would be free to go again. Very, very similar concept for followers. My right foot is free, so I could dance step, brush, over the bridge. Right foot is free again. Same thing for the other side. As a follower, I would do step, brush, over the bridge. Right foot is free. The really, really great thing about a swing step is it can rotate either directions, because we don't necessarily have a forward foot that tells us which way we have to rotate. So I can do, this is where it gets a little tricky. There is a difference between which way you travel and which way you rotate. A Foxtrot basic, or most of our Foxtrot moves, will always move to the left for the leads, because the side close moves to the left. For the ladies, a side close will always move to the right. If you stay facing the same direction, so if I start facing north, then even if I'm scooting to my left, I'm still facing north, unless you're at like some weird diagonal. Same concept for the ladies. If I start facing relative south, then even as I take my side steps, I'm still facing south. If, as I am moving, I start facing a different direction, that's what we call rotation. So I can take my side close and go from facing north to facing northwest to facing west, and so on and so forth. I can also go the other way with the same side step. So I can go from north to northeast to east, and so on and so forth. We'll always moving the same direction. So understanding that in a swing step, you will always be moving leads left, ladies right, but that doesn't mean that you have to rotate a certain way. So as a lead, I can take my swing step, slow, slow, quick, quick, and rotate to my left. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. Same concept for the ladies. I can do my swing step and rotate towards my left shoulder. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. And then the trickier part is I can do my swing step and rotate towards my right shoulder. So I can do slow leads part, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. And then similar concept for ladies. I can do my swing step and rotate towards my right shoulder. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick. So, at this point, it's your timing, right? In Foxtrot, we talked about being able to rotate a forward basic to the right, a back basic to the left, a regular basic, and then we also have a swing step that can rotate whatever direction we need to go. Slow, ooh, that got funky. Swing step, slow, quick, quick. So you can practice just maneuvering around your living room with or without a partner. It can still help you navigationally and actually give you less stress of having to take care of what a partner does with you. So then, I spend way too much time with you guys. Crash coursing some tango. Tango is 3 steps forward and a side drag. So for the leads, 1, 2, 3, side drag. So my left foot is free again. Tango is one of the only dances where my last step does not have a weight change. So for leads, left, right, drag. My left foot goes again. Tango, we spell out tango, but to the theme of bingo. So if I'm singing bingo, B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O, only instead I can spell out tango, T-A-N-G-O. Ladies, natural opposite, the right foot goes back, T-A-N-G-O. My right foot's get ready to go again, T-A-N-G-O. Tango is probably one of the easiest dances to dance in a smaller space. Tango should almost always have a right side lead. So it's going to start off opposite side lead, same side lead, opposite side lead, side reset, go again. So my right shoulder is always slightly forward, same concept as a lady. So if I wanted to, I could dance my tango basic in a very, very tiny circle, T-A-N-G-O, 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 so on and so forth. Something I did want to talk a little bit about, especially in tango, when you are learning how to ballroom or social dance, what we are giving you is patterns. We are giving you a very specific set of Lego blocks. And then we might teach you how to pair a couple of the Lego blocks together, so maybe you can build the wall of your house, and then once you get really good, you can start building the entire house. With that being said, your goal as you get more advanced is to be able to take pieces of this pattern and apply it to, or just create a completely different move. So you can solder your Lego, maybe paint it a different color, so on and so forth. So when I dance tango, tango does have a magic left turn where we would dance rock, rock, walk, side, drag. So one more time as a lead, I would do left foot steps, I reverse onto my right foot, and then my left foot goes forward, walk, side, drag. However, if you want to start making things, I'll do it one or two times as a lady. So I do right foot goes back, rock, walk, walk, side, drag. And then one more time with just that, I could do rock, rock, walk, side, drag. Yeah. We could get into some really funky things, like we could create a version of a magic right turn in tango, which does not happen normally, especially at the Arthur Murray area. So I could step back on my left foot, rock, rock, and then as a lead, I could have the option of going forward side drag, or if I wanted to make things really funky, I could do rock, rock, back, side, drag, and then I'd start off probably back into a basic. Same concept for the ladies. As a magic right turn, I could do right foot goes forward, rock, rock, and then I could do backside drag. Or if he wants to do some really funky things, I could do right side forward, rock, rock, and then right foot goes forward again, forward, side, drag. And then the last one. There are a lot of times where, especially on Friday night party, you completely run out of space We can do almost a swing step version in tango. Not usually taught, it's just kind of like a dramatic pause when we're dancing. So if I was doing a basic T, A, N, G, O, and then I ran out of space, I can do T, A, N, G, O, and maybe do that 27 times because you want to keep moving and you want to keep your follower and you on time, but you don't have anywhere to go. So your goal in tango, at least at your beginning levels, is to keep your slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, and not changing weight on that last foot. But after that, if things get funky, especially if you're in the living room with absolutely no space, but you want to practice with a partner, I can start off with a basic T, A, N, G, O. Oh no, I can't go forward. Let me go backwards on my left foot. T, A, maybe do a backwards thing, and then I ran out of space. Sway, sway, forward side drag. Very similar concept for the ladies portion because I realized I didn't do that. If he's waiting to step, but he wants to keep time, he could do switch weight, walk, side, drag, switch weight, walk, side, drag. As a lady, your job is to keep the timing with him and assume normal timing unless he verbally establishes something different. But with tango, we can do a lot of playing around. Probably same concept with Foxtrot, but I feel like tango is more fun. So, with that, the main points. We had, when we're talking about social versus ballroom. Ballroom dancing, very big, very large, very flowy, very pretty, super great. But, especially if we're practicing in the living room, you don't have space for that. Lowering before you step, and doing that by sending your knees forward and always testing the water before we take a step instead of just leaping in and things get weird and dangerous. Blah, blah, blah. And then also our Lego blocks. When you take lessons or if you're playing the dangerous game trying to learn some things on the internet, you are given Lego blocks or patterns. But that doesn't mean that as you progress more that you cannot solder your Legos, paint your Legos, stack your Legos in different ways, so on and so forth. So with that, hopefully you guys had a good time. It's nice knowing you, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.